Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land on hashtag Wealth Wednesday. We are speaking the language of miracles with author Lennox Scott. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So let's start from the beginning. How did you learn to speak the language of miracles?
Well, I met my wife 10 years ago, and I was during the Great Recession, and I asked her, I said, how are you doing so well in business? And she at that moment said, the situation is not who I am. I'm not walking in the recession. I'm more powerful than that situation.
Amen.
And I said, well, can I borrow some of your concepts to use in our business? And she gracefully said yes, because it was a whole different level of state of being in the way she talked about walking in the outcome, the positive outcome, than walking in the solution. I mean, in the situation.
So you run a multi-billion-dollar real estate company. How are these distinctions helping in leadership within that?
Well, our company, John L. Scott Real Estate, we're up in the Northwest, in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and just over the border into California. So we sell 33,000 homes a year.
Wow.
And our approach is, we have a success plan. It's actually on the wall in each one of our offices. And it's positive mindset, skill mastery, and personal engagement activities. But it all starts with positive mindset, because that's what it flows through everything we do. And when speaking the language of miracles came along, it changed how we looked at situations, and it elevated our energy. An example is taking a look at a situation. If you just look at a situation, you might have a 30% energy level. If you do some activities, you think about it, you might get up to 60%, but then it wanes really quickly because you don't keep it alive. But if you walk in the positive outcome of who you are, and we have a statement, what I choose to do and be is me, and what I choose is this. And that's walking in the positive outcome. And in the book, there's affirmations in the book. It goes through scenarios, not only in business, but particularly in health, in serious health situations, in just day-to-day health, relationships, family, sports, just personal finance, all those areas. And it talks about these concepts. And in the book, these concepts will change your life in an instant, in both business and in life.
But I'd like to challenge you on this just for a moment, because you can make that choice, but it's not you make that choice once. Right. It's a constant choice. And that is one of the hardest decisions a person can make, especially because even if they're choosing to walk a path of faith, choosing to walk a path of light and positivity, they are still going to experience hardships that are going to challenge them. Yes. What keeps you making the right choice?
Well, making the right, first of all, is getting to the right choice. And when a situation comes up, nowadays, because we've been using this concept so long, I look at every situation just as an energy source. We turn situations into opportunities at the second, at the moment. And then you come up with what are the activities to accomplish your positive outcome. And then you need to sense and track how you're doing. And that's what you're talking about, keeping the conversation alive. In our company, we call it the frequency of focus of the vital few items is what moves you forward much faster than your competitors. So we have strategy group meetings every month, 3 strategy group meetings on our vital few, which is our client service, helping each broker associate be more successful, and looking at future trends and current market conditions, competitors, new technology, whatever it might be. Looking forward in how we're doing. So we look at it every month. And so that sensing and tracking is important. Otherwise, it disappears and you go back to ordinary, whatever you're looking at.
So one of the biggest things is positivity is obviously a huge movement. And one of the things people always ask is, well, how do I deal with negative people? So as really the chairman of this big organization, you're obviously walking the talk, but what do you do? Like when there's kind of a bad seed in the company and they're complaining, gossiping, how do you deal with that?
Well, we have how we look at it is no viruses in the company. And negative energy is a virus. And it can bring your company back, it will hold you back. And it's just not a fun work environment. And we believe in joy at work. because we're doing great things to help people buy or purchase a home. And we're not going to allow the negative energy. So we would obviously have a conversation right away. And we have a collaborative environment, so we need to be in positive energy with others, just as you have here. Your energy is just infectious. And that just excels you forward in what you're doing.
Got it.
Just fantastic. One of my favorite authors of all time is Neville Goddard. And he used to talk about assuming the state of the wish fulfilled, right? Which essentially is walking in the outcome and not walking in the situation. And he would talk a lot about using imagination to do that.
Yes.
And being consistent with the imagination in order to make the behavior in that state of being consistent.
Yes.
What do you do personally to make that state of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled or walking in the outcome consistent and sticky so that the situations don't derail you?
Well, earlier in the show, I was talking about my affirmations.
Yeah.
And affirmations, you always put them in I am or we are. You don't put them into I want to do something or I will do something. It's not being a wannabe or a will-a-be. It's about who you are because you say so. And just by putting them in that framework, you take yourself, you elevate yourself up. Then you figure out, once you get to that positive outcome, you can look at the solutions then. What are the solutions? What are the activities to achieve that? And then sense and track. So it's
Such
how
a
you
great
framework.
point. Yeah, because
Frame
it's
it.
so true. When you say that you want something, it's a statement of what you're not.
Right.
And that's the deeper realization at that moment.
Yeah.
So to say that you are is a recognition of what inherently, innately you already are.
Your energy level isn't high enough and sustainable at I want. And rather that this is who I am.
But it hasn't always been easy. You had your son went through something, and this has kind of spurred you going into some nonprofit work, right?
Yes. So my stepson.
Sorry.
And 2 years before I met my wife, she helped my stepson beat cancer. He had leukemia, and he survived. Thanks to the doctors, the nurses. My wife was just relentless on walking in the outcome. She did not let the negativity of what could happen wrong get in the way of being successful and him walking out of the hospital. And just thank you to the Lord for the blessing of his health in moving forward. And so the book starts out with that. Talks about that story about the languaging, because language matters in this.
Everything.
And she enrolled her son into this whole concept. His affirmations were, I'm a healthy child of God. I have healthy blood cells in my body. There was no opportunity for it not being successful. And thank you, Lord, for that. And then the rest of the book gets into business, and I've been using it for 10 years in our business, and it's just changed who we are. Just our state of being is so much higher now because everything we just instantly flip into where are we going, what are we going to do, and I'm not going to dwell in the other. Let the other companies dwell in the situation. And that's what happens in business. So this is how to excel oneself in business and in life.
And so there's been some talk also about kind of the downturn of real estate. We're coming upon that 10-year. What do you think? What are you predicting for what's going to happen?
Well, how we use these principles. So during the frenzy market, it was hard to find new properties to sell. And so the positive affirmation out of that is, I come to work each day to find homeowners who want to sell their home. And then what are the activities to accomplish that? So now we've gone through an intensity adjustment from extreme frenzy back down to strong market. And so now it's, I help home buyers buy right at the right price. And then what are my activities to inform them, do a buyer CMA on the home they're buying, so they competitive market analysis on the price, so they really know that they're paying the right price for the market, looking at future trends, because real estate is very predictable. It follows a yearly seasonal pattern. And so we're able to track that. We know where we are at what time during the year.
So where are we?
Right now, we're in the kickoff market. Each segment, there's 6 segments to the market. We're right in the kickoff. Buyers come out of the woodwork after the holidays in big numbers. We just had the winter cleanup of inventory. Inventory drops by 40 to 60% from September of unsold homes down to the end of December. Buyers come out of the woodwork. There's not that many homes coming on the market until March, April, and then it really kicks up in the summer.
So you're saying people should buy at holiday season?
Well, in the summer and fall during a frenzy market,
because you don't have as much competition in the middle of winter, right?
Yes, but it is a trick question also. The best time to buy is when it's right for you. And it's usually when you find the right home. But in a frenzy market, you're competing against others, especially in the spring, and it lessens in the summer and fall. Now, in a regular market, you have opportunity all throughout the year because the biggest price appreciation boost happens the first 4 months of the year, and then it mellows out. So it just depends on when the timing's right for you in purchasing. Because over a decade, prices will go up 30 to 40% over each decade.
As someone who's never bought a home and hopes to, someday I will, what can I do to prepare myself to be able to be in the market, to play the game?
Right. Well, we have a phrase called being buyer ready day one. So if I were buying a home, I would get fully underwritten ahead of time before I even put in a purchase agreement. Then I know exactly what I can afford based on wherever interest rates are at that moment. If I get in a multiple offer, I can go up to a certain level. I know where I can go up to and be confident that my purchase is going to go through. The other thing that does is for the seller, it creates certainty. That the seller knows I'm not just pre-approved, I'm fully underwritten ahead of time. And then, of course, I'm going to get email notification when new listings come on the market in that geographic area and price range, and because I'm going to be ready to act at the second. You know, we're in the internet world, and with instant notification, in our company, we actually text people when there's a new listing that hits their parameters. Because it's you want to be up-tempo, you want to be ready, you want to be confident, so when you do see that home, you're ready to act out at that moment.
Interesting.
Can you speak any language of miracles to get me ready for that? Affirm me now, please, Lennox.
But it's important, the environment, I think, is everything. And quite frankly, you know, real estate agents have, stigmas. And so I think it's incredible what you're doing to help kind of transition that into making a difference and positivity in the environment. We know environments are everything for keeping people around.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what we do is transactional excellence within our business. But our higher purpose as a company, we have a federal trademark on this phrase, is living life as a contribution. Because we were looking at who are we? You know, we know what we do for our clients and helping them to buy and sell a home and keeping a relationship as a homeowner, but who are we deep down? And our business has been around for 88 years now. Wow. So we have deep meaning and living life as a contribution. We do that with our clients. We have our foundation, the John L. Scott Foundation, to help sponsor events for children's health care. And the book, proceeds from the book, net proceeds, 20% goes to the foundation that we then use to sponsor events to raise money for children's hospitals. Right. We're a contribution to our teammates, and then we take it home with family and friends, community, and place of faith. And that's it's on every wall in every office. It's on the big on paint in our service center. As we walk in, that's what we look at, is living life as a contribution. One of the great joys of living life.
So when you're happiest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you bet, isn't it? When you help others.
Absolutely.
And you be your best, and being a contribution is about being your best. And it's not just coming up with solutions. This is about just being in relationship with others and moving forward with each other.
Totally. Do you have a dream house, or are you in your dream house?
I have a dream house, and we also have a Malibu house. So we have a house up in Seattle and one down here in Malibu.
Oh, nice.
I have a dream house, and I also have a Malibu house. I feel like that is the perfect Instagram bio.
It is.
You know what? That is going to be my affirmation to become buyer ready. I have a dream house, and I also have a Malibu house.
Right.
Thank you. You are speaking miracles over my life right now.
I just want to acknowledge my wife, Deanna Scott, and her son for writing this book and sharing these concepts. She shared them with me. She shared them with our company. Everybody in our company reads the book. We're now, Sinclair Printing is printing the book, and we're selling 10,000 a month now of the book. And so we're really getting this across. And that's my wife's way of sharing and being thankful to Children's Hospital for helping save her son, and we're putting that message out.
Wow, 10,000 books is a lot. Most books only sell about 5,000 copies total.
Right.
Less. So that's 10,000 a month is unbelievable. So where can people find the book? Where can they find more information about you and your work and the business?
Well, for the book, Amazon.com, of course, and then it's getting wider distribution. We just did a new edit on the book in November, so it's just now getting more major distribution from that point forward. And then for ourselves, if you're looking for a home in the Northwest, go to johnlscott.com because you can see all homes for sale, all listings, all companies in the 3-state area.
Awesome.
Love it.
You make me feel better about the editing because I'm an endless editor.
Oh
to
my
hear that
gosh.
you're doing the same thing is great. It's very affirming there.
I think it's really great. I have a book from somebody who actually is had the success. People look to people like you. They want to know how you did it. So thank you so much for putting it out there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.